The new update today brought Ramatra, the new tank, and a new battle pass as well, but most importantly, it has brought an entirely new season of Ranked. If you are looking back at the first season of Overwatch 2 and aren't pleased with where you finished off at, allow me to give you the tips you need as a player that finished relatively high on all roles. The first point I'm going to get out of the way early is that you have to stop blaming your teammates and look introspectively. I'm not saying that I am perfect, I sometimes fall for this too, but at the end of the day, there is always something more you could do. You could hit more headshots, create more space, or time your powerful abilities better. No one is perfect, not even Overwatch League pros, and this is especially true the lower you go. You will genuinely lose games to throwers from time to time, but not every bad teammate you get is a thrower per se. Others are just as likely to pick up that player on their team, and the avoid function is there for a reason. It is not worth it to waste your mental capacity complaining about your teammates. You should allocate all of your focus and resources on your individual improvement because that is what gets you the farthest in the long term. Our previous point leads us seamlessly into the next, which is avoiding tilt, which is essentially a state of mind in which you have reached your breaking point and start playing more recklessly than you usually do. Symptoms of this problem could possibly include being more aggressive towards teammates and comms, missing more shots than usual, or continuously queuing over and over again so that you don't end on a loss. And before you know it, you're already down 10 games. If you find yourself experiencing any of the above, you have to have the personal strength to realize where you are headed and pull out of the situation before it gets significantly worse. I usually end my sessions after I hit 2 back-to-back losses, even if my overall record on the day is positive. From there, I recommend either playing on an alternate account if you have one, playing quick play with friends, or just getting off and going on a walk and blowing off some steam. Something I have never talked about a lot on this channel is when you should be playing the game and when you shouldn't be, especially the higher you go. Sometimes there are just more bad players on than what seems to be the usual for you, or maybe the other way around. Everyone is completely out of your league currently. These feelings are definitely real and you have to listen to your intuitions. Instead of smashing your head into the wall time and time again, if you find that a lot of players just are not performing on a given day, don't play them. Personally, I refuse to play on my main role on the weekends, as that is when players that haven't played during the week hop on and have to catch up to those that have been playing daily. On top of this, in GM, the weekend is typically when team games are happening, like Overwatch League, Contenders, or Collegiate when they're live. I would much rather play against my fellow professional friends than Timmy the Torb one trick against Melvin the May. You have to recognize the patterns and set up an environment that helps you focus on your improvement and avoid tilt, which, whether you want to believe it or not, is a very big part of Ranked. The first and most important Overwatch related tip within this guide is to find your character pool and run with it. I find that I climb the most when I play a character or two and commit to them on any given day. I don't recommend this point to anyone, but I have hit my Overwatch 1 peak of 44-39 playing Ana into double shield. If you are truly trying to climb, you have to commit to improving on a few characters and learn the ins and outs of them, and it's better if they're in meta. Now, if I want to learn a new character, I typically will hop on an alternate account and see where I place with them, instead of bashing my head into a wall against players that are all GM1 on their comfort characters. My Kiriko is not as good as my Ana, and neither is my Lucio, and I should not treat them as such until I can prove to myself that they are good enough to play on main. Just make sure that you're picking characters you actually enjoy and you aren't just completely being a meta slave, because if you're truly trying to improve, you're probably going to have a better time playing characters you like rather than the ones that you dislike. Tip 5 and our final tip brings us into how many fights you are taking in a game of Overwatch. In lower levels of play, it is commonplace for teams to take fights down 1 or even 2 players at a time. The best way to combat this is to simply communicate with your team, but most of the time, people are just not in voice chat. So what do? When fights are lost, unless you can get out with 100% confidence, it is important to realize where it is going and die on the objective. Overall, this will save your team time from just having to wait for you to come back, and it will make you take more clean fights in lower elos as well. So one last bonus tip is that you want to make sure to keep your physical health a priority. I say it a lot in my last videos regarding this topic, but it is especially important now more than ever. A lot of what goes into Ranked is really just improving yourself. A lot of what goes into Rank is really just self-improvement, and that's a very mentally taxing journey. It is important to take breaks, stay physically active, and not burn out of the game. Going to the gym or even just eating healthier also is sure to help clear your mind so that when it is time to play, you are ready to dial in and win. I know a lot of the tips today sound like pseudoscience, but you have to understand that at the end of the day, the key to ranking up is to improve on yourself. So in order to rank up fast, you have to find ways that work for you to minimize tilt and focus. That is why all of these videos tell you to take breaks and refresh often. Hopefully this video was helpful to you all. If you have any questions regarding the meta as the season progresses, let me know in the comments down below. But since this video was made on the patch release, I didn't want to give give anyone any misinformation. If you would rather have a more live response, consider joining my Discord and messaging me there, or swing by my occasional live stream on Twitch. Thank you all so much for watching, but until next time, I've got to peace out and Paz out. I'll see you in the next one.